Have you ever wondered when the NFL started? Well, I'm here to tell you the history of the National Football League. The NFL is considered one of the most popular sports leagues in North America. The NFL has not always had its name, though. It was formed in 1920 as the American Professional Football Association. It originated on August 20th, 1920 in Canton, Ohio, and was intended to raise the standard of professional football. Canton, Ohio is also where the NFL Hall of Fame is located, and there is an induction ceremony every year for the new inductees. A guy by the name of Jim Thorpe was hired as the first president of the league, which only consisted of 14 teams, and only two of the original teams still exist today. During the 1923 season, the APFA was renamed to the NFL, or National Football League. The NFL shortened the number of games in a season from 12 to 10 from 1935 to 1949 due to World War II. It also stopped allowing African American players to play during that time. The AFL, which is considered the American Football League, began playing in 1960 and started merging with the NFL on June 8, 1966. The merger was completed in 1970. They then created two conferences, the AFC and the NFC. The first Super Bowl was in 1966, and we still have one every year, with the winner receiving the Lombardi Trophy. The Lombardi Trophy is named after old coach of the Green Bay Packers, Vince Lombardi. In 1965, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, Ralph Wilson, negotiated the first television contract with local ABC networks to broadcast all AFL games. Today, the NFL consists of 32 teams, starting the season a week after Labor Day and ending a week after Christmas. The oldest team in the NFL is the Chicago Bears, which started in 1920, and the newest team is the Houston Texans, which began play in 2002. The Dallas Cowboys are considered the most valuable team at $3.2 billion and are considered the most valuable sports team in the world. The first NFL draft was held in 1965, which began a new era of football, which the New York Jets drafted Joe Namath out of the University of Alabama. Joe Namath changed the face of football with his hairstyle and his appearance. He also signed the most expensive contract in NFL history. Today, the draft is held every April, normally held in New York, but is being held in Chicago for the first time this year. 5 members of the 1965 draft are now in the Hall of Fame, including Joe Namath, Gale Sayers, and Dick Butkus. They are considered to be the best players to come up in the 1965 draft. There is great debate today on whether or not the 1965 draft was the best draft in the history of NFL and the draft process today. Football helmets were created by George Barkley in 1896, known as the head harness. It had 3 leather straps that formed a close fit around the head. In 1915, more padding was added, and in 1917, a form of suspension was designed to cradle the skull away from the leather shell. It was intended to absorb and distribute the impact better upon getting hit. This helmet was known as the ZH or Zupke helmets. Rawling and Spalding were some of the first manufacturers of this helmet. The first bar-faced helmet was designed in the mid-1930s by Vern McMillan. In the 1940s, the first chin strap was developed by Riddell. The first energy-absorbing helmet, which were pumped with air, were designed by G.E. Morgan, who is the chairman of the board of Riddell today. Today, players wear helmets released by Riddell called the Revolution helmet. This helmet was released in 2002 and is the most widely used helmet in the NFL today. A study released by the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center showed that the Revolution helmets reduced incidences of concussions by 31%.